All right, everyone, thank you so much for joining us today. I do just want to start by welcoming you to the Virtual College Exploration for Illinois Students, sponsored by the Illinois Association for College Admissions Counseling and Strive Scan. Thank you for joining us. We really do hope that you learn a lot throughout this presentation, but before we get started, I am going to go through a few housekeeping tips. So first, you can use the Q&A button anytime on your screen to type in questions to our presenters. Your camera and microphone are also off, so our panelists cannot see or hear you today. This is just one of many different sessions that are happening, so please be sure to check out the full schedule at IACAC.org. And this presentation is also being recorded, so it will be available within a week at the same website, IACAC.org. At this time, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to our presenter to tell you a little bit about Texas Tech. Here you go.
Hi everyone, my name is Molly Nimchek. I am the Texas Tech admissions counselor. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with y'all real quick so we can get started and y'all can learn a little bit more about Texas Tech. Texas Tech, we are located in Lubbock, Texas. So if you're not familiar with Lubbock, Texas, we are going to go over it here in just a little bit. So Texas Tech itself, we are super excited that for the fall of 2020, we reached 40,000 students. So we are a very large growing institution. We are a 4-year public institution as well. We're a tier 1 research institution. So the coolest thing about that is for you as a student, it means that you can get involved in undergraduate research the second you step onto campus. So right when you step onto campus, if you want to get involved in research, you can reach out to a teacher, a professor, or your advisor, and they can help you find those opportunities on campus. We're a pretty even ratio between male and female, and then we're a 20-to-1 student to teacher ratio. So now Lubbock, Texas. I know this map doesn't show Illinois, but you can kind of see where Lubbock is located in Texas. So I know from Illinois it is going to be quite a distance, but fun fact for y'all is I'm actually from Illinois. If you're familiar with Lincoln Way East High School, that's where I actually went, and I moved to Texas for college. And it was really one of the coolest things that I did, right, was leaving my hometown, getting to really experience something new. And Texas is really a great place to do that at. Lubbock itself, we have 250,000 residents, and over 78% of our new students come from outside 300 miles away. So we do have a large majority of our students that are coming from not just Texas, right? Being that out-of-state student, you'll have a lot of people who can relate with you in that aspect. We have a bunch of parks and venues, museums, and art galleries, and then my favorite thing is a lot of our live entertainment. So pretty much everywhere you go, you're gonna find some live entertainment in Lubbock. As well as we do have an airport right in Lubbock, so which is surprising to a lot of people, but we have a full international airport right in Lubbock, 15 minutes away from campus. So you're able to kind of fly back and forth from Illinois to Lubbock, and makes it a little bit of a less distance drive for you. Kind of going into some of our academic opportunities. So we have 10 different academic colleges, over 150 different academic programs. We're the only state or the only university in Texas to have an undergraduate, graduate, law school, and medical school right on campus, as well as our first veterinary school class is going to be in the fall of 2021. So there's a lot of really exciting things happening on our campus. These are going to be our 10 different colleges. This is our College of Agricultural Sciences and Natural Resources, College of Architecture, College of Arts and Sciences, the Rawls College of Business, College of Education, the Engineering College, we have an Honors College, Human Science, College of Media Communications, and our Performing Arts College as well. So they have a lot of different options for you to choose from when you're coming to Texas Tech. Now, life on campus. So we have over 550 student organizations. We have 19 different residence halls. So as a first-time freshman, you are going to be required to live on campus, but we have 19 different residence halls that you can choose from. So again, a lot of different options for you. We have 30 different dining venues, and then we are really big in spirit and tradition. We're Division I in the Big 12 Conference. So you get into all the sporting events for free as a student with just your student ID card. So there's a lot of activities on campus. And then this picture right here on the slide, this is actually our lazy river on campus and pool. Again, free for you to use as a student. And it's the largest lazy river on a college campus in the state of Texas. So definitely something when you're in that Texas heat you can go into as a student and kind of cool off. I would like to note I do see some questions coming in. I will have time to answer the questions at the end, so I just don't want you to think that I'm not seeing your questions. Keep sending them into the Q&A and I will make sure to get to them at the end. So one of the cool things about Texas Tech that I always really like to point out is our career centers. So not only do we have a university-wide career center, but we have a college career centers as well. So the university-wide career center is for anyone on campus to use, right? It's a place where you can go to look for internships or co-ops. They'll do interview practices, look at your resume and cover letters, and really help you prepare to kind of make that next leap into that career world. But we also have college-related ones, right? So our College of Business and our College of Engineering both have their own career center as well, with their own career fairs on campus specifically for those students. So again, being really specific to what your career goals are and helping you focus in on that and prepare for that while you're in school so that you can make that next leap forward. So now kind of going into admissions and affordability. So kind of some important dates for you to look at in regards to Texas Tech is our fall priority scholarship deadline is going to be December 1st. You need to be an admitted student into Texas Tech to be considered for that priority deadline for scholarships. So I know you can kind of see on here that this fall priority application deadline isn't until May 1st. However, I do encourage you, try and get those applications in and complete by December 1st. We are rolling admissions, which means as soon as you submit all of your required documents to us, we can turn around and make a decision in about 2 to 4 weeks, right? So if you submit your application today and get me all of your documents, you can know probably before you leave for Thanksgiving, definitely before Christmas break or winter break, if you've been admitted to Texas Tech. Another important date for you to look at is going to be this FAFSA. The FAFSA became available on October 1st. I do encourage you to go ahead and get that filled out as well, okay? Even if you are a student who believes that you are not going to qualify for financial aid, I still encourage you to fill it out because there are going to be scholarship opportunities through Texas Tech that require you to have that on file. So our required documents, we require you to fill out the application through Apply Texas or the Common App. Either one is just fine. There's a $75 application fee or fee waiver. Then we do need your official transcripts and then your official SAT or ACT test scores, unless you're deciding to go test optional, which we will talk about here in the next couple slides. Now, also when it comes to your transcripts, you are able to upload your transcripts yourself. So if you have a copy of your transcripts, you can always email them to me or you can upload them to your account and we can count those as official transcripts for an admissions decision. Now, if you are admitted to Texas Tech, we would still need one at your final high school transcript to be an official copy from your counselor. However, for the fastest admissions decision, you can just kind of submit the copy that you have and we can use that one. So our assured admissions, which means an automatic admissions, is going to look at your high school class rank and your ACT or SAT test scores. So for example, if you fall in this first quartile of your class rank and you got a 24 on the ACT, you're going to be automatically accepted to Texas Tech. We're not going to look at any other materials on that application. Additionally, we do super score for admission. So if you were able to take your test more than one time, I do encourage you to submit all of those test scores so that we can super score that for you. Now, if you're looking at these scores and you're like, I don't have those test scores, I don't meet those admissions requirements, that's okay. We also have what's called an application review process. This is going to be for students who don't meet the automatic admissions. You're going to go through an application review process. This is going to be where we look at your application holistically. We're going to look at your academic course selection, your extracurricular activities, your leadership experience, your family educational background. We're going to look at that entire application as a whole. I would encourage you, if you know that you're going to go through application review, that you submit the essay and the letters of recommendation. Okay, those are going to say it's optional, but it's going to be really important if you go through application review to go ahead and submit those. Now, kind of getting into test optional. So we have gone test optional for the fall of 2021 applicants. Now, what that means is on your application, you can choose to go test optional for admissions and for scholarships. So a good reason to go test optional is one, we know that ACT and SAT, that some of those tests have been being canceled and you might have been a student that was not able to take your test scores yet, right? And we understand that. So you would be a student who would decide to go test optional. Another student that might decide to go test optional is someone who just doesn't think that their test scores show their academic capability, right? If you're one of those students that always says, I'm just not a good test taker, you might want to consider going test optional. What will happen when you request going test optional is that you are automatically going to go through this application review process. You're going to automatically go through this holistic review process, okay? So again, if you go test optional, making sure you submit those letters of recommendation, making sure you submit that essay, because we're going to be using all of that information to make a decision. Now, if we do make a decision on your application and you later decide that you want to submit test scores, you were able to take your test at a later time, and you want to submit them for scholarships or admissions, you can submit them and request a reevaluation of your application. So you do still have that option for you. And I'm always available to speak with you more in depth about going test optional. If you think it's a good option for you, we can always speak individually about that as well. Next, kind of talking about cost. So you all are going to want to be looking at this non-resident cost down here, where it's about $39,000 is your year total. That's including your tuition and fees, and as you can see, your room and board fee, okay? Like I said, as a first-time freshman, you are going to be required to live on campus, so that fee is already included. The other three fees on here, books and supplies, transportation, and personal miscellaneous, those are estimates of what we are averagely seeing students spend, okay? Now, I do like to point out the awesome thing about Texas Tech University for our out-of-state students is a non-resident student can qualify for in-state tuition with just receiving a $1,000 scholarship for Texas Tech University. And we're going to go over our scholarships on this next slide. But all you have to do is receive a $1,000 scholarship from Texas Tech, and now you're looking at this in-state tuition, okay? And that's $1,000 for the whole year. And then you're going to be looking at this $27,000, not this $39,000 anymore. So a really great opportunity for our out-of-state students to be able to kind of get that in-state tuition. So one of the easiest ways for you to get that $1,000 scholarship is going to be our Presidential Merit Scholarship. This is an automatic scholarship based upon your class rank in ACT or SAT test scores. So again, kind of looking at this chart, say you're in the top 20% of your class and you got a 25 on your ACT, you're automatically getting $2,000. So not only do you get $2,000, but you also just qualified for in-state tuition. So this is a great opportunity, definitely, if you have those test scores that you're able to submit. Now, if you don't have test scores, if you decide to go test optional for scholarships, what you'll go through is called our Matador Scholarship. That's going to be awarded through a holistic review. So you can still receive that $1,000 scholarship potentially. It's just going to be more based upon a holistic review instead of looking directly at this chart. Now, all of our other scholarships we have through Texas Tech, whether that be through our different student organizations, different departments, different colleges on campus, that we use your application that you filled out as your scholarship application. So there's not a separate scholarship application that you need to go and fill out. We're just going to use the application that you have on file. So you can, if you don't receive any of these two scholarships, you do still have an opportunity to receive other scholarships throughout the university. Now, talking about our Red Raider Guarantee, this is going to be for students who are entering as a freshman or a transfer student. So this would not be for y'all because this is going to be for our Texas residents. And then our Here For You is our Raider Connect. So this is going to be the best area for you to be able to check your application status. Okay, so I encourage you, if you've submitted an application or are planning to submit an application, you're going to want to create a Raider Connect account. Again, remember I said that you can upload your own high school transcripts. This is where you would be able to do that, okay? I do encourage you that if you create your Raider Connect account, use the same email that you use to create your application. That way they can kind of link up and you can continue to check your application status through this Raider Connect. If you're looking to get on our mailing list, you can pull out your cell phone real quick and you can scan this smart code right here to register yourself on our mailing list. Additionally, you can fill out an inquiry card on our website, but like I said, if you just want to scan that code real quick, that'll be the easiest way to get added to our mailing list. And then visiting Texas Tech. So I'm a huge advocate for taking a campus tour, right? getting out there, seeing the campus, and seeing if it's a good fit for you. So you need to feel comfortable with your decision to go so far away. So that was a big thing for me coming from Illinois and moving to Texas, was I really needed to be comfortable in the decision to move so far away. And I found that when I did a campus tour. When I did my campus tour, I knew exactly that this was going to be the place for me, okay? We have opened our campus to do in-person tours, which you can schedule your tour through this link. Or also, if you're unable to get down to Texas, or you're just not wanting to do in-person tours yet, we have a great virtual website as well, where we have a ton of different videos. We do daily admissions presentations with a live tour with one of our students. So I would encourage you to visit that virtual site as well. Then additionally, you can always contact me. So right here, this is going to be your contact information. So I am your direct contact through Texas Tech. I cover the whole state of Illinois. So I do encourage you to please reach out to me, take down my email, so that we can continue to have a conversation about Texas Tech. I am now going to stop sharing my screen, and there are a couple questions. So I'm going to go ahead and see what these questions are. So what is the ranking for the engineering school? Yeah, so in Texas, we are ranked one of the top 10 engineering programs in the state of Texas. So one of the cool things about our engineering program is that differentiates us a little bit, is that we actually require all of our engineering students to do an international experience. So you're going to be required to do a 6 to 8 week study abroad course, internship, or research project that really is going to help prepare you to then make that next step into the engineering world, right? Additionally, another thing I really enjoy about our engineering college is that once you get into engineering related courses, we cap those course sizes at 49 students. So you're really getting that individual attention that you would need. It says, is it possible, I would like to decide for Texas Tech, is there? Yeah, I can go back. I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen again to show the student the resident information. Let me just go back. So I'm not sure if you're wondering about the tuition. So if you were to move to Texas, there are restrictions that you would have to be here for a certain amount of months before you can qualify for to be considered a Texas resident. But say your family moves here and they're here for 12 months, you could then qualify potentially as a in-state student, maybe like your sophomore year, right? So your freshman year, you might want to try and make sure you get that $1,000 scholarship so that you can get that in-state tuition. And then once, if your family moves here, then you can fill out the paperwork to say, hey, I'm now a Texas resident. We've been here for at least 12 months, and follow kind of that process, which I'm happy to kind of talk to you more about what is actually required of that step by step. That is actually what I did as a student when I came to Texas. Was my first year, I got the $1,000 scholarship to get the in-state tuition. And then after I was here for a year, my family moved here as well. I was able to then qualify for in-state tuition without the scholarship. So that's a really good question. Okay, someone's asking about our therapy program. If you're asking about our physical therapy program, so a lot of what our students will do is they'll take kinesiology. We have the #1 ranked kinesiology program in the state of Texas with our pre-physical therapy. So that really prepares them to then be able to apply to our physical therapy program, if that was a specific program that you were asking about. But yes, we have the #1 ranked kinesiology program in the state of Texas. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen again. Are there any other questions? Yeah, I'm happy to help. Yeah, absolutely. Let me just pull this up again. Maybe we should just leave it up for y'all. Oh, there we are. So these are going to be those automatic admissions requirements. Again, you can kind of find what class rank you are, and then you can see what test scores would be required. We super score for admissions and for scholarships. So we went over that presidential merit scholarship, that automatic scholarship based upon class rank and ACT or SAT test scores. And then that will be for, you know, both the admissions and the scholarships. You can kind of see where you fall in that chart. And then, do you guys have a physical therapy program? Yes, we do have a physical therapy program as well. So you would be able to take pre-physical therapy and then apply to our physical therapy program. Good question. What made you choose Texas Tech University? So I will tell y'all that I actually, as my undergraduate, I went to Sam Houston State University, which is in Houston, Texas. But one of the reasons I chose Texas, I had come down here a lot to visit some family. And after kind of being down here, just really enjoyed the state of Texas. And one, the warm weather. So it is nice to be in warmer weather. I know up in Illinois, it gets very cold. And so definitely the warmer weather. But like I said, I came down to Texas. I did a campus tour. And one, fell in love with Texas and the university I went to. Now I can say working for Texas Tech University has been one of the best universities I've worked at. So I have worked at 2 other universities in Texas, and the culture on Texas Tech's campus is probably one of the best I've ever worked at. So the cool thing about Texas Tech being in Lubbock, it's very much a college town. So not only do you have the major support on campus, so everyone is a super proud Red Raider, but even the whole town of Lubbock is very supportive of you. A lot of really proud Red Raiders in the city of Lubbock as well. So it's really, you get this nice hometown feeling, which is definitely something that's really nice to have when you're moving so far away from home. Yeah, so someone has asked about regarding everything being open and what is quarantine like on Texas Tech's campus. So we definitely are taking our precautions on campus, following those safety guidelines and regulations on campus. Right now we have limited the number of sizes of our classes, as well as some of our students are taking online courses, and then they'll have maybe like 1 or 2 in-person courses. So right now for this semester, we have a lot of more students doing some online courses with maybe 1 or 2 classes in person, as well as the class sizes are smaller. And a lot of the student organizations right now are still meeting through Zoom to kind of interact and things like that. So we are definitely taking those safety precautions still, while being able to offer you everything that you're still needing as a student. We are being able to kind of open things up more and more here on campus. I mean, definitely there are some little bit of restrictions still, but you know, just making sure to take those safety precautions. All right, another question is, what if your school does not do class ranks? That's a great question. So if your school does not class rank, we will actually provide you with a class rank based upon your GPA. So we have kind of like an algorithm that we use that we will then give you a class rank, and that's something where you could submit your application and you could email me and say, hey, can you let me know what class rank y'all gave me, so that you are aware of where you kind of fell in that area. Okay, we're gonna kind of moving here. Okay, so we had someone that asked about sports on campus. So like I said, we are Division I in the Big 12 Conference, so sports are pretty huge on campus. We have a ton of school spirit on campus, where students are loving to attend those games and be super prideful when they're doing that. We also have club sports as well. So if you are someone who's interested in playing a sport, but maybe not at that NCAA level, then you can definitely try and get involved in club sports. So club sports, you're still playing against other schools. However, that practice schedule, that game schedule is not going to be as rigorous as maybe an NCAA sport. And then as well as we have recreational sports. So those are just going to be sports that maybe you like to play with your friends and you like to get out. those you'll kind of just get to with your group of friends. You'll play against another group of friends. And it's definitely, there's no, it's all just kind of for fun. Those are going to be our rec sports. So we have someone who asked about weighted or unweighted. So it is going to be your the unweighted GPA that's on your transcript. Are there any other questions? Oh, it looks like I missed one. Sorry. It says, can you speak about diversity on campus? So we definitely are a campus that is, we are pretty diverse on campus. So we have 40,000 students on campus. So that definitely comes along with diversity on campus, as well as we have a great diversity office on campus. I think who does a really fantastic job of hosting different events on campus, getting students really involved in, diversity and encouraging that. So our diversity office does a great job of encouraging diversity, as well as with 40,000 students we have all these different majors, all these different colleges. You're finding people from all over the place, right? So we definitely do have a large diversity on campus, and we support that as well. And then are there dorms for freshmen? Yeah, so the dorms on campus are going to be mainly for freshmen. We do allow our upperclassmen to live in dorms. We do have an upperclassmen dorm, as well as you can live on campus past your freshman year. However, majority of the dorms are going to be for freshmen. Awesome questions. What is the Honors College advantage? Yeah, this is a great question. So when it comes to the Honors College, a couple things right off the bat is they allow early admittance into medical school and the law school. So you can actually apply to early acceptance programs. So you would actually apply as a junior. They have their own Honors College dorm, which means that if you're in the Honors College, you can live in the Honors College dorm specifically for those students. And what will happen, and that dorm is a little different. So we call it like a pod style dorm. So it's a little different than the other dorms. You will find that you live in a room with one other person, and then you're in like a little pod, and then there's an area that you will share, like a living space area with about 6 other students, and then a bathroom that y'all will share as well. So we do have a really nice Honors College dorm. And then as well as our Honors College, every Tuesday they have guest speakers. So they'll bring in food and different guest speakers. And what will happen is it's only for our Honors College students. So you're getting the opportunity to meet some amazing speakers come in, and the opportunity to kind of create those relationships to then, get to know more people around campus and in the community. The next question was, should potential sports recruits still apply regularly like other applicants, maybe for financial aid? So definitely, because we're NCAA, I can't speak fully on our athletics and our recruitment. I would encourage you to still fill out your application like any other student, still fill out your FAFSA like any other student, but you'll definitely want to reach out to our athletics department. If you are being recruited, they might have other things that they need you to do. But again, as far as kind of speaking on the NCAA behalf, you will definitely need to reach out to our athletics department. When looking at GPA and admissions, okay, so it looks like they're asking about GPA. So I'm hoping I answered this right, and you can let me know if this is not what you're asking. It looks like, if you're filling out the application, do you want your unweighted GPA or your weighted? We're gonna go off whatever, and maybe you might be a transfer student as well, but we're gonna go off of whatever's on the transcript that you send us for admissions into Texas Tech. So even if there's something that you put on your application, we're still going to go back and look at exactly what you sent us on either a high school transcript or a college transcript. If you're a transfer student, we're going to look at exactly what you sent us on your on the transcript. So I'm not sure if I didn't answer that correctly. Please feel free to email me, and I'll kind of be happy to we can kind of further talk about exactly what you're kind of looking for. Awesome questions. Do y'all have any other questions for me? Okay, well, I'm going to just share my screen one more time to go ahead and have my contact information up there again for y'all. I am super excited that y'all joined today. Hopefully you're gonna kind of go join some other sessions as well, but hopefully you learned a lot about Texas Tech and you are gonna go apply to Texas Tech, but please, please, please feel free. This is my email or my number. You can feel free to take down that number and email. And please call me or email me if you have any further questions. I'm always kind of happy to help walk you through any process. All right, well, that is everything I have, and I hope that you all have a great day, and I look forward to hearing from you all soon.
Awesome. Thank you again to Texas Tech for presenting to us today. I do want to thank you again for joining us, and I do just want to go over a couple quick things that you might need to know next. When you do close this window, there will be a very quick 4-question survey. We would really appreciate if you could give us any feedback to let us know how we did on this event. Also, this is just one of many of the sessions that's being hosted by IACAC, so definitely be sure to sign up for additional sessions again at IACAC.org. And in about a week, you'll be able to find this session's recording online, also on the IACAC.org website, along with all of the other session recordings. So if there are any that you missed, definitely feel free to go back on there and check those out. Thank you again for joining us today. We really hope you learned a lot, and we hope you have a great rest of your day.